Well, good morning, everyone. I see a lot of people, you're just joining now. We're glad to have you back. I believe this is our 8th or 9th season of GeoPro Talks, which is quite astounding. We're happy to continue on, and we're happy today to introduce our GeoPro team and talk about some of the things we've got coming up this fall and next spring. So let's get on with it. First of all, let's meet the GeoPro team. Today, we've got the full team shown on this slide. Ryder Zafgelia, he's pretty busy today doing other things, so he won't be joining us, but we look forward to seeing him in the coming weeks. Next to Ryder is Jen Mayberry. Jen, why don't you say a little blurb or introduce yourself for our audience?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am Jen Mayberry. I have been with GeoEnviroPro for, I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 years now. Time is melting. But I have about 20-something years of experience in working in environmental field as a consultant to federal government and then local government. And you will see me pop up this season hosting some GeoPro Talks and probably with the risk assessment course as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. And next to Jen on the slide there is me, Guy Patrick. I'm a contaminated hydrogeologist, been practicing since I think 1981. A lot of years under my belt looking at contaminated sites and how to investigate and assess them. So I bring some of that expertise to the team. Next to me is Ian Hers. Ian isn't able to join us today, but Ian's joined GeoEnviroPro recently. He's amongst other things, a soil vapor expert in, well, not just North America, but globally. And then on the bottom left, we have Scott Steer, who's with us today.
Hey guys, Scott Steer. I'm an environmental toxicologist and mainly involved in the use of human health and ecological risk assessment as a tool in contaminated sites remediation, which I've been doing for 20 odd years now.
Awesome, thanks, Scott. And Pete, you're able to join us today too.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm Pete Craig. I'm the lone contractor in this this group of consultants, which makes my job largely heckling other people. But we also will be hosting a couple of presentations and then getting involved in we're having a workshop coming up in November. We'll talk about my day jobs with QM, which is probably currently one of the largest, if not the largest, remediation contractors in Canada.
Awesome, thanks, Pete. And Zara.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. My name is Zara Prani. I'm an environmental engineer turned general manager now. I have about 15 years experience, 10 of which was in environmental consulting, and the rest has been more on the industry side. So managing contractors like Pete and consultants. Right now I am managing the growth of a landfill in Cache Creek. So lots of different contaminated sites and environmental issues come up. Looking forward to being part of this.
Thanks, Sarah. And so, Pete, we're not all consultants. Zara's an ex-consultant, like yourself. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to introduce you to some of the upcoming GeoPro Talks that we've got lined up. We've got pretty much the whole slate filled through December, but there's a couple I want to point out today. We're going to go over some of the live events and training we've got coming up. Corporate training programs. This is something we're considering at GeoPro to work with consulting companies with their training programs. More on that later. We have on-demand training and recorded webinars. Before we get going on that, though, we have a poll we wanted to, with some questions we wanted to ask you about. So I'm going to put this out there, and I think the way this works with it launched, you can answer on your screen. We're wondering when we offer courses, do you prefer virtual versus in person or on demand? And on demand are the ones we have a couple on our website now. You actually go at your own pace and answer questions. It's a bit robotic, but you get through and you're not all forced to cram it all down at once. So I'm just looking at the answers here. I'll give a couple more minutes. Well, not even a couple minutes. We don't have that much time. Oh, this is looking pretty good. I'll end this question now, but just to let you know, most people by far prefer the virtual format for courses, like over 90%. Let's see if we can share the results here. Is it sharing, you guys? Can you see it on your screen?
Yeah, we can.
So you can see that most people prefer virtual format, and then it's a split between in-person on demand. Interesting.
It is. That's a surprise to me.
Let's see if there's another poll question, general interest. So in this general interest question, what topics are you most interested in? This is like a multiple choice thing. So we've got here environmental sustainability, contaminated site investigation, remediation, environmental impact assessment, environmental policy regulation, mine permitting closure, and other. We're asking this because our main focus traditionally is on contaminated sites investigation, remediation, which it should be. That's our areas of expertise. But we're quite happy and we're cognizant of the issues that you face that may go beyond that narrow focus. So we're just trying to get a feel for other topics you might find of interest. So let's see here. Let's share this and we'll see where we're at here. So it looks like, of course, contaminated site investigation remediation remains of most interest to our listeners. That's why we're here, 76%. Next is environmental policy regulation, which is interesting, and environmental impact assessment, and then sustainability and mine permitting. Thank you very much. I think we have one other quick question here. This is on the format. So when we offer courses, virtual or in person, for the most part virtual, do you folks prefer these things happening during your weekday morning, weekday afternoon, evenings, or weekends? And we're asking this because we know many of you are working in the field of consulting or in industry or in regulatory environment, and you have a day job, and it's sometimes hard to fit all this stuff in. But we're cognizant of the need to be flexible here. Interesting. Well, so far, nobody's interested in the evening courses. Oh boy.
Interesting.
Here, in the interest of moving on, I'm going to end the poll so you can see what we came up with. But most people prefer the mornings, but 80%. But then there's quite a few prefer afternoons. No one wants to go to school in the evenings, and a couple are interested in weekends. That's interesting. I can just say from personal experience, having taught evening courses at BCIT in Burnaby in the distant past, it's brutal when you got to take a night class. You have a day job, and then you're supposed to sit for 2 hours and listen to me babble. It could be the most interesting topic in the world, but it's pretty hard to keep your eyes open. So thank you everybody for sharing that with us. We're going to take that into consideration as we move forward. And now we'd like to talk a bit about some of the courses we do have coming up and when we're going to be offering them and some of the workshops we're involved in. So let's move on to the SABCS conference coming up next week. Zara, maybe you can fill us in on what that's all about.
Definitely. So in addition to now being part of GeoEnviroPro, I'm also the president of the Science Advisory Board for Contaminated Sites in BC. We host an annual conference every year, and this year we have some GeoEnviroPro assistance on it as well. It's going to be September 21st and 22nd next week, and it's going to be our very first hybrid event, actually. So we have options to attend in person and virtual. There will be virtual and in-person speakers. So it's going to be a really exciting event, 8:30 to 4:30. And if you do come in person, it'll be in Vancouver at the SFU Harbor Center. We have speakers from the Ministry of Environment, people from consulting, contractors, just a good big range of folks. And the topic is going to be really relevant, considering everything that happened last year with climate change and everything. So its topic is risk management when natural disaster strikes. Hope to see you there. You can register on the SABCS website, which is sabcs.ca.
Hey, thanks, Sarah. I know I'll be there. Hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there.
And then coming up later this fall, GeoEnviroPro will be co-hosting a conference in Vancouver with Vertex. Well, I guess it's the Smart Remediation Group. Pete, you can explain a little bit more about that. Remediation now breaking the barriers. We are excited about this one. This is going to be a great one-day affair.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, at SFU, just after Zara works out all the bugs of a hybrid presentation, we're going to do our first hybrid conference. in collaboration with Smart Remediation, which is Vertex as a firm that's involved in promoting that. So we're hoping to get a large amount of virtual participation from across the country. And actually our talks are now reaching people as far as actually Saudi Arabia and Brazil. So we're trying to lure them in to virtually participate in a conference that will also be physically in Vancouver. So if you're in the Vancouver area, I would like you to consider attending. Working on the program now. We have plenty of abstracts. We're still open to additional abstracts, and we're working on neat features on the side, open to input on them. I actually have a call in a couple of hours about putting together the existing commercially proven current suppliers for PFAS soil treatment, for example. And so we're adding events like that, and you'll see updates as we get closer to the event. But really looking forward to a hybrid presentation, theoretically, maybe even going international with topics that are interesting to you. So reach out to any of us with ideas and hopefully registrations as well, right?
Thanks, Pete. So check out our website for more information, GeoEnviroPro.com, and you can find out more about the actual times, costs, agenda, etc. And we'll keep that up to date as we get more information. Scott, you're going to tell us a bit about a risk assessment course you've got coming up.
Yes, I am. Yeah, beginning mid-January, running over the course of 10 Tuesday mornings. We're going to be running our risk assessment short course on the use of human health and ecological risk assessment as a tool in the remediation of contaminated sites. It'll consist of 4 modules. The first 2 modules on the fundamentals of human health and ecological risk assessment, and modules 3 and 4 on more advanced ecological risk assessment topics, in particular food chain modeling and the use of weight of evidence in ecological risk assessment. What else can I tell you? 9 hours of total instruction over the course of the 4 modules. You can sign up for these modules individually or all together. Exercises and quizzes for each of the 4 modules. 20 professional development hours eligible. New for this year's program or next year's program, we're hoping to bring in expert guest instructors to diversify the instruction a little bit. So more information to come on that one as we get through the fall.
Okay, thanks a lot, Scott. And when the risk assessment course wraps up, we're going to launch into our Beyond Data short course. This is a course I helped put together with Ryder Zefgilia years ago, and it's entirely relevant because it's kind of the basis of our contaminated site investigation remediation process. Developing a conceptual model, making sure you've addressed all the issues related not just to the geology and stratigraphy and groundwater flow, but sources, contaminants concern, fate and transport, all these things. How do you pull all this information together to build a model that's robust and reliable so you can come up with a remediation program that actually works? So this course, it's kind of like a fundamentals course on steroids, helping you take all this technical information and put it into something that makes sense. It's a hands-on course. We walk through building a conceptual model from a synthetic data sets on LNAPL and DNAPL chemistry in a complex geologic environment. It's a lot of fun. I think it's 6 modules, pardon me, 6 modules. We'll be offering this every Tuesday morning, going from soup to nuts. And with the conceptual model, of course, this also forms the basis for your reporting. So one of the big outcomes of this is that you can actually use this knowledge to help you write more efficiently and communicate what you found. So that's all kind of exciting to me. I like putting on this. And then following the Beyond Data course, we're planning on another virtual field school. So Zara, why don't you tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, of course. So we're planning on this field school for May 2023. This is going to be primarily hosted by myself and Ian Hers, who's not here, but we're really excited about it. We've run it for the last couple of years and have had some really good feedback. Basically, what this course is intended to do is give anyone, not just consultants, and not anyone that's actually just doing the work, but anyone who wants to understand how samples are collected in the field, best practices, regulations. We'll talk from our own experience. Both Ian and I have a number of, Ian has way more experience than I do, but I'll talk about my 10 years experience in the field. And right now we're planning on doing it virtually, but and actually based on that poll, it looks like people prefer virtual. So we'll see how that goes. But in the course, we have a number of training clips. We'll also have an opportunity for people to ask questions. So if anyone's, doing some field work and just, you're coming across an issue that you're just not really sure how to deal with, we can talk it through as a group. So definitely really excited about this one. So one example, sonic drilling. So we do talk about the different soil collection procedures and drilling methods and everything like that. So we just wanted to give a really short sneak peek on one of the video clips. This one is basically just showing the plastic bag that comes from the core barrel from sonic drilling. So just sonic frequency is used to advance a core barrel to collect soil samples. Once it comes out, we're also going to go through how to actually collect a sample physically, how to log it, and different things to look out for. So just a high level example. And then here's another example, just kind of a teaser. We have a lot of really interesting soil vapor topics to talk about in this course. We don't want to give away too much here, but maybe Guy, go ahead and play the
This is a teaser with Al Robeson showing soil vapor samples.
So we're going to inject our helium. We have our pump going, right? We're purging. We have our primary calibrator hooked up. We're purging at
That was our teaser.
It's just a
Zara,
teaser. Yeah.
Thanks. I think when we
Yeah.
were talking before we went live today,
Yeah.
it's not just soil vapor, soil and groundwater. It's also some sediment sampling techniques.
Yeah, so we talk
water
about sediment sampling, we'll talk about surface water sampling. And in my experience, I did a lot of kind of some mine remediation and characterization at mines. And in my sediment and soil surface water are really important as well. So I always like to touch on those and some methods. I certainly had my share of experiences and would just like to make sure other people don't maybe make the same mistakes or just talk through some potential issues that you can come across. So
awesome. Thanks, Zara. So now moving on to what we have coming up on the GeoPro Talks. Next week is the SAB conference. So as I mentioned, I'm at that conference. I think a lot of our GeoPro people will be tuning in virtually or attending. So we don't have a talk next week, but the following week, I think an email blast went out today saying we're going to have a fellow from the Ministry of Environment. That's been delayed till November for scheduling reasons. So we're going to have Keely Mundell. I worked with Keely when I did some work in Perth. This is many years ago. And Keely's been working steadily as a consultant with Golder WSP out there in Western Australia now for many years. And she recently gave a talk on sucralose as a tracer for wastewater in the subsurface. You'll see here's a cross section here. This is pretty exciting because we're always looking for ways of improving the way we characterize our groundwater system and contaminant pathways. So look forward to that one on the 28th. On October 5th, we've got Brian Shaw of Caro and Nick Tumney of ESCIS Canada giving a talk on data management systems and how you can actually use these tools to manage your data better, get more out of your data and have it organized better. So I'm looking forward to that talk. As I mentioned, Rusto Martinka, he's a hydrogeologist with the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change Strategy. He's going to be, we've rescheduled his talk to November 23rd. He's going to be talking about authorizing point and non-point source discharges to ground, how that all works in BC. How do you actually get approval for that kind of thing? This will be kind of interesting. So with that, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to throw them into the chat or Q&A. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. But in the meantime, this is just a big shout out. Thank you to all of our corporate members. You can see them all listed here. I'm not going to read out the whole list, but without you, we couldn't do these talks. We deliver these things for free. We put in time and effort, and it's fun to share all this information with our community. So thank you to everybody. And how do you become a GeoPro member? Well, we have a basic membership for individuals. If you really enjoy these talks and want to make sure they keep going, and you can become a member. A basic member is an individual, $15 a month or $150 a year. It gives you access to all the previous recordings. And you don't have to pay to look at old downloads. It also gives you significant discounts at our face-to-face workshops or our virtual workshops. Typically, it's on the order of 20% discount. So becoming a member can pay for itself pretty quickly. We also offer premium memberships. This is for local consulting companies that want to make GeoPro course offerings available to their members with the discounts, and unlimited for some of the firms that have broader reaches across the nation or perhaps internationally that want to help support us at GeoPro Talk. So we look forward to seeing you all at the next GeoPro Talk, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you at the SAB conference next week, virtually or in person. And our big one, as I'm saying, our November November Remediation Now Breaking the Barriers conference to be held in Vancouver and also virtually. So check out the options there and the pricing and all that, and please sign up and register. Last, I think after in December, we're having our annual co-hosting the BCML-ARD Acid Rock Drainage Conference, Men Conference in December. So keep tuned for that one as well. And with that now, I think I'd like to say on behalf of the GeoPro team, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us at info@geoenviropro.com and check out our website, www.geoenviropro.com. Look forward to seeing you as our next season. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you soon.